straight up mirror if my eyes do not deceive me.
No, Hex, you don't need to get your eyes checked, although I think you would look pretty handsome in glasses.
I look handsome in everything.
You do. You do. The addition of the beard, man, it's unbelievable.
It's man makeup.
The loss of my beard, however,
it's
dire.
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy, but sometimes
both
terrible things happen.
Taking it slow up top in the poke game. Both are now going to drop down. Being a little aggressive here. Almo's going to try to get behind the opposing team and knock someone into the rest of his team. That's Lucio's biggest benefit to the 3-3 composition. It's his mobility and his speed. As Boston will take a strong starting position on the point. We are bloodless thus far here. Meanwhile, Tank's getting very low. Ben Best is getting pushed back a little bit. He's taken over the starting tank role over Cloudy, who played very much in Stage 1 and Stage 2. Still, Paris waiting to get in there, trying to find an opening on this point. Rallies come up for both teams, and Cruz caught out on the left side. Coloric's going to clean that up. Ben Best will fall secondarily, and that is all but a one fight for the Boston Uprising, as I think Semler's got his audio figured out.
Yes, best start for the Boston Uprising, and we're figuring it out. We're fine. We're fine.
You're getting there.
Let's get into the action.
I've solo casted many games of Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can trust you. We're having a little bit of a discussion up here in terms of, like, you have to turn knobs, Hex. It's complicated.
You are
How do I read this? Audience?
You are a simple man. Okay. Transcendent's going to come out up top to be aggressive on it as they push down with it. Grab comes out of the follow-up, but Coloric should have a free grab coming in here. There's nothing to stop this one.
No, there isn't. We do have the trance there. Aim God keeping his team up, and Nico's going to go down. Not going to help things here for Paris, as that is going to lead to them getting overwhelmed. One after the other. Paris out-sent packing, and we're up to 70% on the point here for the Boston Uprising. An excellent start for Boston. They got first control, and they've done a great job of holding on to that.
Sitting at 80% is a one-fight-away scenario. Nothing for Paris to come in. They're going to have to play the cleanest Overwatch of their life if they want to win this next fight, because there's a sound barrier coming up and a rally that is so much health for Paris to try to chew through.
Exactly. That's going to make them so tough to take down. Boston counting on it, though. They're not going to give it up for free. Nobody's stepping out of position here. They are holding close, but they're waiting for the go signal, hoping that Paris would be the ones to make the first mistake. Shatter attempt from Fusions. Manages to knock out two, and that's going to set it up here for Boston. They're just going to sweep Paris out of here and pick up the first point of this best of three.
It becomes an extra hard scenario because the diva for Paris has to peel off just to touch the point. So you're essentially putting yourself in a 5v6 scenario with zero ultimates, unable to even take it patiently to try to charge those ultimate abilities, in an extremely one-sided match for Boston as they go 100-0, 12 kills to 0.
Just complete and utter dominance. Exactly what we were hoping to see. If you're a Boston fan, I saw a few of them here in the studio earlier, rocking the New Jerseys as well. Shout outs to them. Those New Jerseys, man, some of them are looking great.
Shout outs to the New Jerseys, because I've seen a lot of them selling like hotcakes. In fact, I don't think hotcakes have sold as well as our New Jerseys.
Well, we're getting into the second point here. Reminder, this is a best of three. We're looking for the first team to reach 2 in Boston. Right now, they're 1 away. So let's see who is going to get it done in the ruins. Used to be a nice sniper map, but we are going to be sticking to the 3-3. 3 tanks, 3 support. It's the meat grinder.
I would imagine you will see 3-3 from both these teams today. It is their style, so not a whole lot of variance expected today. I'm always happy to be surprised. Both teams taking over the neutral. The pack is being fought over right now. Ben Best has to fall back a little bit, still being pressured.
Yeah, RCK gets D-Max, and that's certainly not going to help things here. Perhaps getting a bit ahead of themselves, Boston Uprising. RCK taking risks, but losing Danya is not going to help things here for Paris. That's a big source of damage and healing gone out the window. It looked so good for Paris, but it's going to be Boston. First control for them.
Aim God living up to his name there, gets the first 2 volleys, first 2 kills, and it's good to see him back in the roster. I think on pure talent right now, he is a little bit better than Persia, a new addition to this team, but you always need people on your bench to push the starters to be their best. Need that pressure on some of these players to continue to play up to form. Look at this angle he's taking up top. Doesn't find anything there, but 21% taken already, and counting up for Boston as they hold stairs.
Yeah, this is going to be so annoying for Paris Eternal. You got those big shields that you want to try and hide behind, but if you've got targets taking shots at you on all sides, what are you going to do? you don't know which way to face.
You really can't go through the front door here. A lot of teams will try to bump around in rotations.
There you
Greyy
go.
does a great job. Great opening pick.
Oh, bin best. Oh, that's going to force the trance out of Greyy. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and push forward here. Color Hex is going to be licking his chops in anticipation because he knows Greyy, what a great shot onto Alamao, though. Takes the Lucio out of the fight for the Boston Uprising. Man advantage now for Paris Eternal. We've seen this before, however, but this time they're going to capitalize and get the job done. It will not be a clean sweep for Boston Uprising. Paris Eternal take control of the point.
It is a little bit upsetting, though, that they had to use Transcendence to be aggressive on that. It's kind of like borrowing from tomorrow to win today, because now they're going to get Graviton Surge unless Finzi can make a big play. And Graviton Surge's best counter is that Transcendence ability. It happened on our first round as well, but they've had to use that Transcendence to be aggressive twice.
Let's see, does Cruz manage to get the sound barrier off? That's the one thing, perhaps, apart from Finzi with the D-Matrix. Boston just sussing things out here. They're not running into the fight. They're taking their time, perhaps waiting for Aim God to live up to his name yet again. Oh, Aim God is the one to take a bullet to the face, though. That's not going to be great. But there's the grab, bringing Danya in. Cruz with the sound barrier over the top. That bonus HP going to make all the difference here. Boston Uprising, however, are the ones to take full advantage, and Ben Best will get beamed down by Color Hex. Man advantage now for Boston Uprising. Rally used by Blase. They really want to just slam the door on Paris, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Boston Uprising will take back control of the point.
The D.Va usage has been so interesting and evolving in this 2019 Overwatch League season. When we first started, it was an offensive ability to go into the Graviton combos to try to get a lot of kills. Teams adapted to that, figured out how to play around that. Now a lot of teams will use the self-destruct to zone out the other team when they themselves get Graviton, to keep them away. There's not a lot of distance damage, and if there is, that shield is up, so you can't be up there swinging when there's a giant mech about to self-destruct in your face.
Yeah. I do like to see that adaptation. You need to get it, though. And right now, Boston, got to be careful that they don't get cut off or launched off the side. Did it happen? No. Color looks like he was able to get back onto the point.
Little air control. Color also nearing another grab. He's doubling the pace of Danya right now.
So going into this fight, Greyy is a ways off at Trance. Cruz doesn't even have sound barrier yet. I mean, he is catching up. But if Color Hex decides now or never, now could be the time to get it in here. We will have the trance used by Aim God to keep fusions up, and that's going to work. Ben Best goes down, and Paris Eternal maybe buckling here. 3 quick kills for the Boston Uprising, and they are going to lock it down here. They are going to pick up the first map of this series. Boston Uprising definitely showing up here to play today. Finzi, well, demec'd immediately. This is just buying time.
Just delaying the inevitable as the Boston Uprising put a masterclass on to the Paris Eternal. 27 eliminations to a mere 7. And they look dominant against Paris.
That they do. We're going to see how this all pans out. If Boston can maintain this level or if Paris can fight back right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Spit into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Boston, the team on your screen, have shown up to play today. They've taken the lead in this series. We're looking for first to 3 as far as the maps are concerned. So Boston, off to a terrific start here, Hex.
It's a great opening for them, and the fashion in which they did it also impressive. And this is, I think, the lineup that they want to use going forward. You never know with Boston. Until the trade window ends, the roster could trade entirely. They make moves, they sell players, they make money. Great organization. AIM got back in the starting lineup today, and you can see just what he brings to this team. On Ilios, he was hitting headshots. Those opening kills are so important. And see if he can continue it here, as our next map is Paris.
You know who Boston maybe remind me of? It's like Huck maybe reminds me of Billy Bean, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the numbers.
Analytics, man.
You get in there, you just do your strategy. If you're not performing, it's fine. We'll get rid of you. We'll get the guy who's going to get the best numbers for us.
Huck, of course, the president of gaming for the Boston Uprising here.
Kind of like a GM, I suppose, you know?
He's the guy in charge.
We'll put it that way.
There's no need for business cards here. In fact, if I had a business card that just said guy in charge, I would hand it to everybody. All right. So, on Paris, this is a very popular strategy on defense. The Paris Eternal will be on defense first. They will run what we call a bunker composition. Big shield, big gun, some supports. And then Nico is going to play the Sombra to try to hack the backlines.
Oh, okay.
We have to see what Boston's response to this is. It looks like they're going to stick on this. A Sombra of their own. Pharah and Mercy in the sky. Then big disruption from your main tank running the Hammond.
That's the point. That Blase somehow finds a pick on Cruz. This is going to fall apart here for Paris. That's a disastrous first death. I mean, that's not going to help things.
That's the absolute worst first death, I think, because now you don't have the immortality field, which really enables the bunker. And now where do you even try to set up the bunker? They have to rotate to this room, but you can't shoot a Color Hex right now. He's in the sky.
You don't
trying
really
to
have
knock someone in the corner, but now they're just sitting in this pack room. There's no Diva now to eat any of these rockets. This is all but over.
This is a disaster. Are we going to get it? Yes, Ben Best over the top. He's going to get picked immediately. Not long for this world, Danye. Gone, and a very quick take here for Boston Uprising. Pretty much everything going right, and all of that off the back of a single arrow.
Alamau gets a little too big for his britches there and steps forward on the Mercy, but it doesn't matter. Now he's just like, yeah, it's a tactical death. He was in spawn faster because he was going to switch to Lucio anyway. Full switch up very likely coming in through here. And yes, Blase has the Dragon Strike, but he will be switching as well. Standard 3-3 composition. What's interesting is that Paris is choosing to stay on the bunker composition. This map was it feels like it was built for bunkers. You get this high ground now on second point. You can run this composition, and they're nearing EMP. They need this EMP to win a fight, and then they can start building up ultimates. Boston is in the same story here.
Yeah, Boston got a little work ahead of them, but they took that first point so quickly. 6 minutes on the clock here for Boston to pick up the second point. Loads of time to build up the ults and get the job done. Paris Eternal, though, we're going to get that tank mode online. The support ultimate's coming in here as well. And Cruz may have the window to really amp up that damage. It could get pretty spicy here for Boston in this upcoming fight. Yep, sure enough, instant pick. EMP into aim god, dead. Fusions as well. Deicide, Hex.
That was going to be a dance of which Sombra went at it first. But I think Boston made the right choice of giving up that ghost, and now they can come in with an EMP of their own. There's no great follow-ups as far as ultimates from the Boston side of things, but EMP charges so fast that you can EMP, get a ton of damage done, maybe get some progress on the point, maybe flat out win it.
Yes.
But then by the time all the other ultimates come on for Boston, that check mark for RCK will be there again.
RCK, though, just crouching in the corner. Does manage to dodge past, and let's see. Trying to get into position now. Once again, RCK going to go ahead and get some attention drawn to himself. Perhaps put Greyy on notice. Boston still looking for a way in. Interesting to see just how patient RCK is with this. Yeah, okay, there it is. Chucks it in.
Okay, so you can cancel it too, and now you have to back up. So what some Sombras will do is throw in the translocation and try to force out ultimates from the other team because you think they're coming in. So that was meant to get Greyy to use his Transcendence, back out, wait for it to expire, and then go in and do it. Now, if you watch the New York game the other day, you don't know that you can cancel it because Sabiobi just kept yeeting it in there and then EMPing the whole team. We'll see if they try it again. It's a mind game that the Sombra's able to play against the opposing team.
Once again in the corner. About as good as it gets here. He can pick off 3 with the EMP. He's hoping for 4. Just hoping that Grace, shows himself again, and there it is. Just straight EMP. Let's go. Get the fight going. Can't kill the Lantern. That's not going to be good. Alamao has to focus on it. Will eventually find that kill, but we are still looking for the first one here, and now Paris, the EMP is worn off. They get the fight back, and it's going to get dicey here for Boston.
Aim God's getting a kill onto his opposing number there so far. They've just killed Destructibles. Tyre comes in, gets two, and on Assault, that's usually enough.
Yeah, that's huge. Going to get one tick of permanent progress, but they've got such a long way to run back. They need to be quick here. Paris Eternal, stagger things out. Take your time with it. Rally goes in, but they may not be able to do it. Oh, just barely. Greyy makes it in time. So close, but Greyy going to go down. Now it's Ben Best as the Hammond, and now we're starting to get the entire team here for Paris Eternal making their way back. But because that took so long, Boston are back into the fight as well. There's the sound barrier coming in from Alamao. That's going to set it up, and this should be Boston locking down the second point.
Boston's got a 6v5 as they stalled it out enough to get people back in, and now Paris is on non-ideal heroes. They're able to clean that one up. Was very patient play after the first fight did not go ideal for them.
Not at all, exactly, but they do get the job done in the end. 2 points picked up for the offense. We'll see how they fare right after this.
Initiating match. Огонь по готовности.
Split into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Pass into the iris.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Paris Eternal right now down 2 points on the second map of this series. The defense didn't quite get the lot that they were looking for, but unfortunately, it seems like things just didn't pan out for them on the first point. It just all fell apart so quickly. They weren't able to get the wind in their sails again for the rest of it.
One of the reasons you see the rise of the bunker comp is because Baptiste really enables the bunker comp. Does a lot of healing, you have amplification matrix, most importantly, immortality field, so that if you get dove on, you can pop it up there, and everyone stays alive to a certain point in health. But Cruz died first, and that's it. I mean, it's the linchpin of that composition, and with no Mercy, some teams will opt to run a Mercy as well in this comp to damage boost, etc. There's no Resurrection available, and it's just straight up over.
Well, 13th of June, we will have the Outlaws versus the Shock. Be sure to tune in. You can see it here, Twitch, ESPN app, XD, Disney. Gonna be the next thing?
Given what Houston did to New York, that actually could be a game. Houston took New York to the brink not too long ago. Shock considered one of the best teams in the league. Both teams scouting out compositions here. No bunker for the Boston defense, which means the offense is allowed to run a 3-3 as well. And Paris has to show us something here. They consider this one of their better maps. You know, I guess namesake comes into it, but they just think they understand it pretty well. And that defense did not hold up too well.
It looks like Boston were ready. They knew what Paris were going to go for here. Standard 3-3 on the side of Paris, and so no surprises in store for us now. Boston Uprising looking very good indeed.
The defensive Winston is here to try to get as much cleave damage as possible as these teams roll around. He'll sit high ground and just kind of poke people out. Although Fusions have been taking a lot of damage, they've had to back up a lot, and now the fight will occur on the point.
Yeah, Fusions, well, I mean, he kind of missed that perfect window. And yeah, every time he's trying to poke in there to get that primal going, he's getting stunned, he's getting pressured. Well, here's the nano, and this is going to speed things up. Now we've got the primal, and he could actually eject them off of the point into the river, but it doesn't quite happen for him. Instead, it's his team. 2 kills going in. Fusions, unfortunately, your team are going bye-bye.
Yeah, you see that big window where they're on the edge, but teams have been so good about playing that corner, they're going into the house so they don't get knocked into it. And as good as Boston's offense was, Paris matches the time as we move on to second point.
So, what do we have in store for us here? Now we've got ults online, 3 of them for Paris Eternal. Essentially everything that they need. Alamao's got the sound barrier nearly online, though. That might be the saving grace here for Boston Uprising, because Color Hex is not going to hesitate. Straight grab from him. No time wasted, and there are no support ultimates on the side of Paris Eternal to keep them alive. They are going to fold. 2 quick kills here for Boston Uprising, and Paris back to spawn with you.
They get in there rather quickly, but the swing back should be in Paris's favor. They will have all their tank ultimates up. But as you mentioned, Alamao's done a good job of at least getting barrier up. That should help them maybe stay alive a little longer in that Graviton Surge, but you really would prefer the Transcendence. AimGod's going to be looking for volleys here to try to get his Transcendence built up as quickly as possible. Such a hard second point to take.
You can really get ground down here. But we should have the support ultimates online now for Paris Eternal. They already have the offensive ultimates ready to use. Those check marks are glowing. 4 out of 6, looking pretty good. Paris?
AimGod at nearly 90. This is the dance. You want to be patient, but not too patient.
He's going to have it now regardless. Yep, Trance is online now for AimGod as well. So his ultimate is there. Now life is going to get interesting here for Paris. Danye chucks the grab out, gets eaten by RCK. There's the play for Boston. Sound barrier used, and RCK gets picked before. Still, we're trading back and forth. Cruz goes down. There's the ult as well from Finzi. And Paris Eternal will get rebuffed. Ben Best already doesn't want anything to do with this. He's trying to back out.
That's a trade that you make every day of the week, and appropriately twice on Sundays, as Blase is able to clean up the rest of it. But those, you trade your self-destruct for Lucio every single time. RCK, as I mentioned, one of the newer additions to this team, really fits to their style of play.
What a sick catch. All that time, Paris are setting up, and RCK sees it coming from a mile away. Does not let Paris execute properly. And so Boston going to bleed some valuable time off the clock here for Paris, who once again have to get to work. I mean, Danye, he wasn't sleeping either. He's up to 75%. He's nearly got another grab online, so this will be interesting here for Paris. There may be a window a little bit quicker than Boston were expecting.
Well, they have to know that this grab is going to be their moneymaker here, because they know Transcendence was used, they know Barrier was used, and no matter how good you are as Zenyatta, you're not going to have ult up in 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity. Golden Color Hex is going to have to be the man to make the play here. He's got his grab. He could try and buy the time necessary for AimGod to get online. He's got that grab, and right now, neither team willing to overcommit. Paris Eternal, though, just getting farmed down. We're really just farming ults at this point. Both of the teams poking, and now Paris decides it's time to get in, and this time it's going to be Finzi to take out Color Hex's grab. Blase goes down first, and it's getting nasty here for Boston. They are falling one after the other. Paris Eternal will be the team perhaps to tie things up here. Are they clean enough with it? Yes, they are. 5 alive on the point. 2 ticks permanent. Will they get a third? I think they will. They're going to lock it down.
Close to getting back on there. AimGod hit his Transcendence at the end to try to stay alive. He got himself in a different position, but both the support ultimates died very close to the end. A nice take by Paris.
Now, both of these divas stepping up, eating grabs. It's a key part of their role. See how this all pans out right after the break.
Imagine the worst possible. Now, move on.
Attackers incoming.
Right into the action we go. Both teams, as Hex was pointing out during the break, identical time banks. How often do we see that, Hex?
I can't recall a time when I've seen it when it's not an overtime scenario, so I guess you could say it's about as even as it gets, quite by the numbers here. Ilios, of course, one-sided for Boston, but Paris much more comfortable on this map. Paris will play defense again, and you have to imagine Cruz is going to play a little safer than he did last time.
Yeah, exactly. Still curious, did he poke his nose out from behind the shields? You take those risks, you get those peaks going, and then you get blown out of the sky. Danye takes full advantage. Excellent halt combo there with Ben Best, yanking Color Hex out into the open, and Danye was ready for it.
Well, it is just like shooting pigeons here, because when you do throw that halt out there, the Orisa's usually calling pull. Pull, pull. I've got pull right now, and then you focus all the target on that orb. It's a mini graviton surge, brings everyone right to it, and that's just easy pickings.
There it is. Once again, you see it. Blase going to be able to back off, though, and they'll have to wait until the halt comes back online, but this is bleeding valuable time off the clock. 2.5 minutes left here for Boston Uprising to make some progress on the first point. Still waiting for them to commit, and this time it's going to be Cruz working with Danye to find the pick on Aim God. Color Hex is being annoying, but he's not really finding the kills here necessary. He's working his way up to a barrage, and I guess that's the game plan for Boston. Just wait until you can farm some of these ults.
But the farming has been very, very slow. It must be a drought out here, because RCK only had 42% on his EMP. Blase's been unable to get chip damage to get a dragon to dislocate them off of that point, so it's taking a while. By nature, these DPS compositions versus bunker comps take a little bit, but the farming has been very slow going here.
What's going to be the play here? Is Color Hex waiting for an Aim God boost? Could get in there. There we go. Finally connects. Sees his opportunity. Goes crashing in. Rockets raining in from on high. Nowhere to go. Finzi going to get D-Max, and that's not going to help things for the defense. Paris Eternal going to have to give ground.
Very nice opening there, and here's the extra benefit of it. If they really, really wanted to, I don't think they will, unfortunately, you could roll in a next point with this. With
Nano
the EMP barrage.
Yeah.
The Nano should keep the Pharah alive, which is a rarity usually during barrage, but we're going to head right back there. Changes all around, but Paris does want to run this exact same bunker composition on second, so I don't think you change RCK. You need this EMP to crack it. Aim God also going to stay on the Ana.
Yeah, we'll have the boost. That could go on to fusions. Could be fun.
Well, when you reset your economy like this by switching heroes and going back to zero, staying on the Ana makes a lot of sense too, because you nano boost one of your tanks. They do more damage, they take less damage, they can be more aggressive, and it's a way to get them closer to their ultimate abilities as well.
Exactly right. And the name of the game with these comps is the ultimate abilities. None of these tanks really do enough damage to just get flat out kills, and so you need the ults to work together. You need the ults to find the wins. So, Boston Uprising taking their time, farming him up at this point. Just going to sit pretty. RCK's got his EMP online, so that could be the go signal. Paris Eternal, though, they will soon be working on a six-pack here, Hex. It's going to get fun.
RCK gets pushed out again. Greyy has been in such perfect position here the entire time. He's going to come swooping around with Transcendence.
Transcendence, though, Greyy, exactly. He had the hidden play. Will not go down. Finzi getting cut off from the rest of his team, though, may hurt things for the Paris Eternal, and we'll see if he survives. It doesn't look like it's going to be self-destruct, but he goes down before he can get it off. Alamau just getting blown up. Point blank, Danye going to work. There's 3 and 4 long range. Aim God not able to get out of there. What a hold. Danye just made all the difference for his team.
A perfect response. As I mentioned, Greyy had been completely on the other side of the map in the first half of this. RCK was trying to poke him out, and they just can't find the perfect positioning here. And now it's desperation time for Boston. You'd have to imagine a Nano gets in here. 6 seconds left, have to play on the point, have to run into the meat grinder that is a Bastion bunker.
Well, there you got the Nano boost at least. Fusion's just going for a bit of a hop and a swing. We'll be able to cut off Finzi from the point. They've got 2 points, 2 ticks, permanent progress. If they can look to get to the last one, this would be big here for Boston, and they are finding 1 kill after another. Ben Best going to get ejected, and it looks like in overtime, they will find success, Hex. Boston Uprising, 4 points total.
Such a clean play to get Fusion in the correct position. His shield cracked, but he was too low. They didn't have the angle to put the damage into him. He's able to swing and get fire strikes to dislodge them, and then everyone else cleaning up as that shield breaks on the other side of things. Nice shot at Aim God from Aim God during that as well. And Boston, with 6 seconds and not even on the point, able to capture a 4th point on Paris.
The pressure is really going to be on now for Paris. Are they going to be capable of running it back? They have, well, they had 319 in the bank here, Paris, to work with. Boston, let's see what we have in store. It looks like the same kind of setup here. Fusion's going to be going for the Winston play once again, so we will be getting the cleave damage. And Paris on the offense.
They're just on scouting duty right now.
Not going to happen.
You hit a
with that,
grapple, you translocate. So they're going to see what Boston is running, but it's very interesting to see these two distinct styles of teams. Paris just wants to run defensive bunker. Doesn't matter the point. Some teams will switch off a bunker after first point and play more traditionally on second point. But this is a very standard defense from Boston. You swap out your Reinhardt for a Winston because the offense on assault maps always has to go through chokes. And Winston is really good at locking down points with his cleave damage, with the Tesla cannon.
Yeah, and he gets in there. I mean, nobody wants to run up against an angry monkey. Let's see, Ben Best going for a bit of a roll.
Just scouting it out.
And it's going to be the 3-3, standard as could be. We will have Ben Best on the Rhine, so we will have that shield in play here for the Paris Eternal to hide behind. Fusion's looking to get the cleave going. He's crouching close. Needs to be careful. Does not want to get stunned immediately. Nice attempt there with the grenade, but that might end up costing Aim God. His team is taking a lot of damage.
It only got one. It only got Greyy, and he's going to regen himself back up. Fusion's in a lot of trouble. Fusion's to the moon.
Having a lot of trouble exactly staying alive. He really does seem to get focused immediately. As soon as Paris see him, they are not letting him get out of dodge, and Aim God not in position to keep the tank up. That's going to be a very quick take, although they are still hanging around here, Boston. It looks like they're going to contest. I mean, Fusions can hop his way back into this fight fairly quickly. They nearly pick up a kill on Nico. Nico somehow surviving in the back line, and Fusions right now just going to work. Nano on to Blase, and he's swinging away. This is so interesting. Can Boston actually pull off the defense?
Well, they're going to have to use Grav to be able to live through it, but I think if you're the Boston defense, you're okay with that. You bled out some ultimates. You come back with the hope you get a kill or something like that, but the secondary goal of that is to make them use Grab, make them use Sound Barrier, and they did. Now Fusions has to switch onto the Reinhardt, but they've got a Grav of their own to be able to use to try to win this fight as the Boston defense.
Exactly. If we've got the rally, there's the grab to kick things off, and they are going to be moving through. Shatter attempt. We got Blase going down here for Boston. Already down a man, but that still works out for Boston if they can continue to hold. They get the kill finally on Ben Best, but it's so many ways going for Paris Eternal. Now,
Not enough.
one tick permanent progress, going to be two, and Paris right now are just coasting through. We will have to change up here from Boston. They are starting to get those bodies on the point. Alamau going for the sound barrier, just hoping to buy time, and are Boston going to actually succeed in bullying Paris out of here?
Well, they're going to push them back for now, but they are only a sliver away. They can't step off this point at all. 99.3% on the point, and they have to be very mindful of this. And right now, Boston is on non-ideal defensive heroes because they made the switch, and this one is all over except for the final cleanup.
Oh, getting it done, and in fine style, Paris Eternal, not a shred of mercy. Cruz getting his team pumped up right now. We're going to take a break, and we'll see how it all plays out right after that.
Initiating match.
So, Hex, tell me, do you think Boston can dodge the draw?
Well, that's what they're playing for. Boston cannot win this map. They have no time left in their bank. Their score will stay at 4. Paris can win this map if they have a good first attack here. I have my hesitations about Fusion's Winston based on what I've seen thus far. This is a player made his name on Reinhardt in the Overwatch World Cup with his teammate in that tournament with Cruz, who's on the other side of things now. But his Winston is getting focused, he's been getting bashed, he's not getting primal on that second defense. They're going to stick to it though. But something has gone wrong. However, Paris only has a minute. once they finally get to the composition they want to run, at best, that's 1.5 good attacks.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of room for error here, especially when you're going for this slower sort of strategy. Fusions, there's the stun, misses his jump. Will get support from his teammates, and he will get topped up again. Bit stressful there, though, for Aim God.
That's what they needed, though, the boop to knock them off, because the last couple times, Benbest just walked up to that ground and taken it away. They've got Fusions in the corner again.
Again, he has to jump back, and now we're going to get that pressure on the point itself. Oh, no! ColorX barely survives. That is so close. If ColorX goes down, might be toast here for Boston. He is a huge source of damage that they desperately need to make this hold happen. Fusion's going to get the boost, and that is going to get him the primal. Now, let's see. No time wasted on his side, and once again, he's kind of just forcing it. Let's see if he can actually try and cut somebody off and throw them into the river. Not looking like it, and yeah, T-Matrix from Finzi working wonders, and Fusion's nowhere to go. He's stuck in a room.
They have just focused and abused him. However, a nice environmental on Nico. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. Paris running over their home map.
Self-destructs all over the place, and it is going to be Aim God, last man to go down here for Boston. A single tick is all they need, and Paris will be tying up the series 1-1 in maps. A good drawn-out battle on their home map, but they get it done in the end.
So important for them to win that second map. It is one of their best maps that they play. They needed the confidence. Let's see what our halftime team has to say right after this break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
The iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Split into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Pass into the iris.
Огонь по готовности. Apagando las luces.
Pass into the iris.
Routing power to forward shield.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Kill Dibba point!
Focus people on point.
Easy.
Nice. Point.
Nice.
Took map one, but it was the Eternal who were able to battle back and defend their home turf on Paris. Welcome to halftime, everybody. Malik here. We got Zoe and Bren, and a lot of talk flying between the vocal leaders of both of these teams. Wouldn't you guys say?
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a rivalry as well between them, as it came out of their own mouths as well. They were posting on social media earlier, saying about they're both sides of both teams looking forward to this game.
We got them right behind us, actually.
Fusions, yeah, you can see it's a classic EU rivalry. Some of his oldest friends and rivals in Overwatch. These players are fired up for it for good reasons, because it's going up against Cruz, his former teammate in the Overwatch World Cup on Team UK. And I think there's a lot more on the line than just, the points and the standings for these guys, because, again, it is bragging points at the end of the day as well.
Right. Well, I would say both of these guys have been doing a very good job shot calling for their team so far. This game is super close. What you guys seen in that first half? Anything stand out to you so far?
I mean, the first map, like looking specifically at the ones who were a bit more verbal coming into this, such as Cruz, he was a bit of a non-factor, I dare say, on control. We didn't really see too much coming out from him or his team. I was a little bit surprised that we just saw straight up 3-3 running at each other. I would have loved to maybe see a little bit of something different. Could have worked for the Paris Eternal. However, it was a rather one-sided affair. Boston Uprising had this one in the bag from start to finish, even though on round 2 we did see some signs of life from Paris that did recap the point, I think once or twice, but overall this was Boston's game completely.
Yeah, and you know, it was all fusions in the first half, but the second map, Cruz had a fantastic game. Look at this play here. Dodges the EMP expertly, hands out the immortality field, saves his team. That's those clutch plays that you don't see often, but when you make them, you feel so good about it. And he really had a huge impact on that second map, causing them to end up winning it. It's close between them, though, mind. You know, it could have gone either way, but again, Cruz firing up after kind of a little bit of a lackluster first map.
Yeah, they were only like 3 fractional kills apart from each other at the very end of that map, so this could have gone either way.
You're right about that. This has been a very tightly contested match right here. And a lot of these fights have gone down to the wire. You know what? In fact, I think it'd be cool to actually break down some of the stuff that we've been seeing. You got something for us, Bryn?
Yeah, I've got a State Farm for us here, Alt Economy, of course. And this is a beautiful stuff because what we've been seeing as well from a lot of the time, from a lot of these teams, a lot more Sombra usage, right? Sombra's being used a lot more by some of the weaker teams in the league. They can't play some of the standing compositions. Biggest reason is the EMP. It's her ultimate ability. You can see it being used here. You usually only need just the one ability to try and clean up. Cruz, we saw it earlier, a little bit of outplay from him, but it's such a high impact ability. You can use it just to clean up any team fight. It disables the targets. You can see Fincy, he's just like a hot potato. He's hopping around the point. You can't do anything from that point on. And this is important. The one thing I want you all to take away from this is in your ranked games, you're going up against a lot of bunker comps these days. I know, I've been playing the games, and I've been playing against it. Often I'm the one running it. I'm making you angry. The best way to counter it is probably going to be a Sombra. You build up that EMP in about a minute, you just wait for your team to group up, use the EMP, you clean them up. Shields are gone, Bastion's out of his bunker form, you know, you've got the world's your oyster, you know, at the end of the day, as I like to say. I don't say that often.
Actually, never.
No, I've never
I've never said that ever. I hope you guys at home are taking notes, though, because it's bunker comps. You do see those a lot in competitive play. Now, going into the second half, I would say that the Paris Eternal have the momentum right now, but who do you guys give the edge to going in?
Yeah, I think if we're going to see a straight 3-3 rolling at each other, I do think that Boston Uprising should, you know, kind of get away with the victories there. If we're looking at the maps coming up, I'm not really sure if the Paris Eternal will be able to play to their strength and go for those kind of bunker compositions. Maybe a 1 or 2 points on the maps to come. I think it's Eichenwalde as well as Gibraltar. Maybe a little bit of it on 1 or 2 points, but overall this should be a 3-3 composition, and I do think Boston has the edge there.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think Zoe's hit the nail on the head there. I mean, again, Paris are very good at the map Paris because you can play these bunker compositions that they love so much, but we're moving over to maps where that's not really quite ideal. So Boston are going to have the edge in that regard.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, the analysts are giving it to Boston, but it's still a tight contest. We'll see who can pull it off. It's 1-1, and we'll see you right after the break.
So one of the biggest challenges at the beginning was like to understand each other in game.
That was like really tough for me at the beginning because my English was like really poor.
Talking about strategy was kind of up. Most of the callouts in game were fine.
That everybody knows, even though you're not really comfortable in English, like left, right,
forward, back, behind. That's easy. But when you got really get going deep in strategy, it's kind of tough.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
This sucks. All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. You just got the halftime breakdown there. Brent, Zoe bringing us the in-depth knowledge. And going into the second set of maps, we break it in half, right? We have 2 maps coming up, and it's going to be a tight one because both teams are tied 1-1.
They are tied, and it was as close as could be on Paris. Control was definitely in Boston's favor, and as we move forward, Boston probably has a slight edge on some of these maps, but it's such an important set because, again, these teams have to play each other twice this stage, try to get a feel for the other team plays, and if you can pick up 2 victories, it's enormous for a stage that only has 7 matches in it. You want to get to those stage playoffs as well, so this match... I mean, it's 2 middling teams, all right, 12 and 14, but I can't overstate the importance of trying to pick up these map wins and match wins over a team they have to play twice.
When you're going into the playoffs, when it's getting into the deciders, you're going to have the map difference. How clean were your wins? That's what can decide whether you're in the playoffs or not.
Well, our next map will be of the hybrid type. We're going to Eichenwalde. And, yeah, this is a map that you see a mostly 3-3 played on. Some defensive far used to be the order of the day here as the towers came out. And we see some teams try to run interesting stuff, like trying to push a McCree through first point. It's not always going to be standard 3-3, but I imagine when you have both of these teams in 3-3, then that is going to be the case. But, you know, I'm always willing to be surprised. We can definitely tell you what the defense is going to be, as the offense won't have to leave point, and they'll be able to swap momentarily. But I'm hoping to get to this bridge. This bridge is the death of many, many players as the environmental kills come out very strong here. That is the dead man on the throne, last point to try to get to. But it does seem like a very standard defense here. Offensively, we have to wait for them to... I really don't want to see fusions on Winston again. It was not impressive. So as these teams roll out, it will be first 3 on here. Both teams in a mirror match. They're going to try to get themselves in position. Let's go forward. Poking around. Free entry through the point. I know in your ladder games, everyone holds right at the archway. Not so much so here in the Overwatch League.
On to the point they go. Boston Uprising on the offense, looking for the wrap right now. Danye going to kick things off, though, and that's not going to go too well, losing 2 already right out the gates.
Nope, that's pretty much it. When you get 2 like that, very nice play from Danye. It's been kind of quiet thus far in the series, and they will push them all the way back. That also gets him worked up to only 56% on his charge there, so a very nice 0 ultimate fight. Both teams pretty far away from any sort of impactful ultimate, so we're just going to reset. Second verse, same as the first. We will see if Boston wants to try to wrap left again. Didn't work out the first time. Fusions baits like he's going to go right, but they're just going to stand out over here onto the right-hand side, try to use the architecture for cover.
Good on them to make the play. This is still a similar strategy of them just kind of walking into each other one after the other, trying to farm up those ults with the big tanks. Everything about the ults, they're lacking the damage right now, and so we'll see if they're going to be able to get anything going here.
Well, Paris is not in any sort of bad position here, and if they do get pressured out health-wise, they can hit that rally, but it's Boston taking all the poke in the world. That poke goes to kills. Color Hex down, RCK out of mech. Fusion's in a terrible spot, and this is all over but the cleanup. The rally comes in late, which is totally fine. Rally... There's very few wrong times to hit a rally button. Of course, all that armor is going to be there for at least the next 30 seconds. However, Boston is now getting to the ultimate phase of the game. They are going to have 5 up. The only thing not up will be that rally. So the next fight incoming is just going to be about execution here. But now we're already below 2 minutes. You start with 4. So now we're about 2 pushes away, and Boston has gotten 0 progress. Gotta have to find something here. However, trying that same left side rotation. It's gonna be all about the Graviton surges here and responses to them. Can they get somebody on the corner? Can you use the architecture to pull them out? Can you eat one? RCK denies Danye's grab. That That is a fight-winning play from RCK.
Gets the follow-up kill as well. Insult to injury. Boston Uprising, though, they are trying to hang in here because Paris are able to get one back. And there's Fenzi stepping it up. 2 kills for him, and that's Fusion's going down as well.
Oh, we talk so much in these 3-3 matchups, like, oh, you gotta focus on the battle of the Reinhardts. Look at these Zenyatas going after each other. But today, it has been the day of Diva. Both of these guys trading blows. RCK opened it up with a huge play. But Finzi says, anything you can do, I can do better. Great launch over the top. Takes down 2. And you take down a Zarya and a Zen. That's the double Z. Add a third, you put a team to sleep. 40 seconds remain. Last push for the Boston Uprising. They're going to open it up with a rally.
Hoping for the best here. 30 seconds on the clock. And they are trying to make it happen here. Boston perhaps feeling a little pressure. A little bit of a lack of strategy going into it. After the second map didn't pan out for them, maybe they're feeling a little rattled here because Paris Eternal so far, they're getting picked off one after another. Never mind, I spoke too soon, Hex. Boston Uprising right now are looking fairly good.
That's not quite over yet. They lost Benbest, but they did get a couple of kills back. It is getting very scrappy down there. They lost Aim God during this, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And at the 12th hour here, Boston will finally capture the points. And the great thing for Boston is they capture that point in a long, drawn-out battle, and they've got all the impactful ults that they want. Both tank ultimates, both meaningful support ultimates. Sorry, Brigitte, but Rally is not necessarily the most meaningful support ultimate. And they have 2.5 minutes to try to push some progress here on the point. Very difficult to ever try to take high ground away if you're the offensive team, so you kind of just have to take it.
Yeah, well, they are getting booped off the high ground now as well. Clever play coming in from RCK, trying to get the defense out of position. Paris will oblige them with a fight, though. There's the grab launched in, and that's the kickoff start here for Aim God to bring the pain. 4 quick kills just like that, and Paris Eternal will not be able to hold.
I've been so impressed with RCK. There were a lot of doubts of why would you get rid of what was thought to be one of Boston's best player in Note, who's actually playing for the Dallas Fuel right now. And we thought it was kind of a one-sided trade, but RCK has given them the versatility to run more Sombra when they chose to in stage 1 and stage 2 rather. And his Diva play's been great. Knocks him off of the high ground. And again, Boston wins a fight without having to commit a lot of impactful ults.
There goes the shatter, but then the grab perfectly timed by Danye. He will pay for it with his life, though. And Boston Uprising now, they were off to a bit of a rough start on this map, but they are starting to hit their stride once again. 2 quick points picked up for them. Payload hardly stopped, Tex.
Just a perfect execution of the second point push here. They needed it because their first offensive push was not very good. Took them all the way to overtime to unlock that point. They did commit darn near everything they had to it, so they're just going to try to take one fight here where they try to get ultimates out of Paris. That's not going to be the case. Paris playing very patiently. Boston with 2 minutes left can go in and do what we call kind of an eco push, often called a junk rush, because that's exactly what it ends up being for your team, where you go in, you try to get your ultimates charged up, and you try to get the other team to use ultimates. Paris should know this, though, if you're tracking ultimates, and you have to be patient on it. Don't overcommit with ults. Try to win with 1, 2 at the most.
It's all about that control of the economy. The ultimates are so important, but over the top, here we go. Color Hex, he sees the D-Matrix. He knows that it's down now, but going to hold on to that grab, perhaps waiting to see if his team are going to be in the proper position, or if they can even commit to it at all, because Boston Uprising, they were dropping low. Alamao's going to be there with the sound barrier, going to be keeping him up. Grab thrown in by Color Hex, looking for the follow-up, and it's not quite there. They are hanging in there, Boston, but Aim God, perfectly timed Transcendence, healing everybody on his team, and now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Trading 1 for 1 as the ultimate effects wear down. We're going to start seeing the kills come through, and Paris Eternal finally will find success.
Boston went into that fight with very little, but they took long enough that they were able to get ultimates up. Nice air control from both of those players to stay on the bridge there. Paris gave up a lot of ground, took the fight on their terms when they had to, and were able to push back the attackers. Now with below 50 seconds left, this is the last push for the Boston Uprising, trying to get more progress on Eichenwald. RCK's got his bomb ready. You might use it just to open things up. It's not something you necessarily save for the enormous grab bomb combos that we were so used to seeing in stage 1.
Yeah, exactly, because Danya's already used his grab as well, so Could be that we had some angles back in the day. We've seen some very clever positioning with the D.Va mechs right over the corner, denying anywhere to hide. And yep, RCK gonna throw it in deep. Shields are up though, and the Paris Eternal are ready for it. They did not get caught out.
It got Transcendence out of Paris, and now the grab is still yet to come in. If Color Hex hits one, they can definitely win this fight.
Looking good. Color Hex throws it in. Okay, let's look at the follow-up. Instant use of the self-destruct here by Finzi to create some space. Sound Barrier is used by Cruz as well. We will trade back and forth. Cruz pays with his life, but we're losing out here on the side of Boston Uprising. Players going down left and right. Aim God and Blase out of it. Fusions as well. And that will be Paris Eternal stabilizing perfectly here given the situation.
And that is about all she wrote. That is the offensive push. And a very good one, but not a completion for the Boston Uprising, as it took them way too long to take first point.
2 points picked up here for the Boston Uprising as we go into the break.
Initiating match.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности.
Pass into the iris.
Live with the action here in 30 seconds. We will be kicking it off. Paris Eternal versus the Boston Uprising. They've changed sides now. Paris Eternal will be on the offense. Boston Uprising on the defense.
Beautiful castle of Eichenwald. I've considered being a sellsword because I know that eventually you get castles at the end of that journey. So I've been told, so I have seen.
If you're on the winning side. Otherwise, you get a flag.
Sometimes you play the game, you win, and then you still die. It's interesting. Defensively, very standard stuff here from Boston coming out. That is going to be the Reinhardt 3-3 variation. No surprise that Paris is going to attempt to match their composition, and if Paris can get a good first push, they're going to set themselves up very well here as Boston struggled to unlock this first point, to unlock the payload.
It was definitely a close-cut thing for Boston. Now let's see, Paris, Ben Best way up front, no hesitation on his side, trying to build up to that shatter. And right now, neither team willing to overextend. It's RCK and Finzi kind of just going back and forth right now. Finzi a little less successful. Seems like he's trying to cover his team, but there we go. Starts spotting some juicy targets. Could go for the blast through, but instead it's going to be Danye. Off screen, finds the kill on Color, and Fusion's gone as well. Danye getting work done.
It just goes back to the notion that when D.Va does her job, it's almost like she didn't even do anything at all, although Finzi does pick up a couple of kills there. By taking that off angle, he makes Boston respond to it. They have to rotate into that corner, pulls them out of position, the rest of the team collapses on it, and yeah, you want to hold back, but you don't want to hold that far back. They got pushed around, and that's the power of these D.Vas taking off angles. We call it a 3-3, but it's essentially a 5+1 in a lot of situations, where you have the 5 main people, D.Vas out there with all of her mobility, pushing people around, threatening from different perspectives. Great job by Finzi there.
Well, being a thorn in the side of your opponents, that's a D.Va's good day. That's her living a good day. Whatever. Let's get into the thick of things here because it's looking like Ben Best does not want to waste any time. Charges straight on through, goes for the shatter, and gets nothing for it. We will get Greyy using the trance as well, keeping everybody up here. Boston Uprising, they've got their trance on the side of Aim God, and so they will survive this, and it looks like Boston Uprising will win the fight here at the Arch as well. Couldn't have gone better for him. This is exactly what they were hoping for.
I much prefer this position on the defense than where Paris decided to hold on their defense. They were kind of up on the tower, and then they eventually had to drop down. In fact, they were forced to drop down. It may be because they were trying to build ultimate, whereas Boston didn't have to, so they can just hold this front door. Speaking of Boston not having to build ultimates, they've got all the important ones up, aside from Transcendence. But since Donnie is a mile away from Graviton Surge anyway, it doesn't really matter.
All right, into the thick of things here. Color Hex going to pin him to the wall. Ben Best, Nico, Finzi down, and that is a 3 quick kills here for the Boston Uprising. Cruz going to get forced back, and, well, I mean, come on, Boston. Just channel your inner shock. Do it.
Spawn camp.
Do it. They're through the arch. They're through the arch, Hex.
Throw the grab in a spawn. Be Sinatra.
Everybody wants to be Sinatra. All right. I mean, Fusions right now, if they walk past, he's got that shatter. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to overextend.
Well, I mean, they know he's there. He's been firing fire strikes from that angle for a while. They are going to rally up here, get everybody armored up. That armor will keep stacking up as they take damage. It will continue to go up onto them. And still just pushing forward. And now, if you're Paris, you have to start deciding if you're going to use ults to break out. They do.
They do. And then you get the self-destruct right there from RCK. You thought you were going to make some progress? You thought you were going to get a kill? I think not. And now Color Hex has nearly got his grab online, so things are about to get fun here. Paris trying a different angle now, trying to wrap around the side. We've got the shatter ready. Color Hex is here looking for that grab. He's nearly got it. There we go. He hit one, and now with the grab in play, things can get real dicey here for Paris.
He's just going to try to make sure that Finzi is not where...
Oh, you get the D-Mac.
Be in position here. Yeah.
There you go. Danye going to take him down, though. We lose Color Hex. Fusion's next to fall, and with the trance used on Grey's side, it looks like Paris will win that fight, but Boston... Look at that. The cart nearly went back to where it started. They were there for so long.
That's why Boston is taking these very aggressive defenses. One, it's a stylistic choice overall, but also you know you didn't complete the map. So if you can just force fights on the cart and it can make no progress and then start winning those fights, you put the opponent actually in a very bad position. 2.5 minutes to try to get the second point going, and now Boston is regrouped. They're going to take the high ground over top onto the bridge for the moment. Maybe try to rain down some darts. Nope, they're just going to jump right off. And it's an interesting thing if you decide to jump off.
Oh, big shatter, not quite there. We're getting all the ults coming out. Now Danya even going to try and bring him in around the corner, using the corner to try and cut line of sight to make it more difficult here to keep those teammates up, but they will survive. And now Paris getting a little bit of progress out of the cart. Boston still hanging in this fight, though, and Fusions not giving up.
Oh, there's the shatter and self-destruct combo. The bash at the end on Ben Best drops his shield and he goes down, and very difficult to do anything without a Reinhardt. However, they're going to be aggressive with this Transcendence.
Wow, straight in there, hoping to try and play off of it. Danya, though, has to be careful, does not want to overextend. He's dropped. He is going to be the main focus. Obviously, Color Hex wants to remove his counterpart, but Blase going to find death, that is. 2 kills, though. No, Danya somehow survives and had to bubble up, and Danya still in this fight.
They got a little greedy, though. They were trying to finish off those kills while the self-destruct was up, and 2 of them died for it. Transcendence now used for Boston. This is a grimy fight. Sometimes we say scrappy, sometimes we say ugly. No, it just feels grimy.
The bar fight, Hex. You got the stools and everything flying all over the place. Everybody's ducking left and right. Fusions doesn't even know which way he's facing anymore. You just see him swinging, and he's just getting booped left, right, center. He doesn't know what's going on. What is this?
RCK will finally be eliminated here. We have 1 minute left, and Boston's going to be in position to fight on this bridge again. This is where Lucio's time to shine right now. Skate on walls, knock people off the edge, but at some point, right, Boston has to come out here. Never mind, they just get grabbed into it. RCK is on the clutch, though, does touch the cart.
He
does not matter.
Yeah. Touches the cart, was trying to get the D-Matrix in there, but exactly, it's not going to matter. They will get focused down. You can see the rectangle glowing there on the red carpet. That's as far as the payload needs to go for Paris Eternal to win this map and take the lead in the series. Both of these teams tied up 1-1.
Yeah, there's really only one place to fight now, and when you're running 3-3, you always want to fight on corners. It helps the Rhine so much to be able to get free swings in there. So you see the corner that they're going to play at is going to be this back one because it will stop the progress of the carts.
Minute and a half on the clock. Blase with the rally. Get everybody armored up and let's go. Boston Uprising, you need to take a fight, but it's time to take a nap instead. There's the sound barrier. Alamao trying to keep his teammates up, but they lose Color Hex on the side of Boston. And Fusions is the next to fall. Greyy with the trance there to keep his team healthy and hale, and they are looking good now. Paris Eternal finding kill after kill. It is looking like they will succeed and pick up the lead in the series.
This has been so diva-dominated to throw in these self-destructs at the perfect time. It has been the RCK and Finzi show. Finzi get the better of that one.
Excellent work on the side of Finzi. And we will see right after the break how this goes down. Will Paris lock it down? We're looking for the first team to reach 3 points.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности!
Well, there you have it, Paris. It does seem like in the end, the win on their home map wasn't a fluke, Hex. They've taken the lead in the series 2-1. They were looking so good on the third map there on Eichenwald.
Yeah, they're looking to lock it out here on Gibraltar, which will be our next map. The interesting thing about Paris, there was so much hype about them coming into the season about being this great 3-3 team, and they did not live up to it. What I find very frightening about them is that every time they win a match, it's always like this one all-star player comes in. Sometimes Cruz will carry the team. Finzi's been having a great game today. Our first match of the week, it was Greyy, who was absolutely crushing it. So if they all put together these performances, they could be a really formidable team. Right now, sitting at only 6 wins in the league, but not out of it by any stretch. At the end of the season, you only have to be in the top 12. Right now, they're sitting at 14, and with 2 games against Boston, who's sitting at 12, they could leapfrog them.
Very even right now in terms of standings.
So if they beat Boston today, then they're going to be sitting at 7-9, and Boston will also be at 7-9. And then it's coming up again that they have to play each other. And I think overall, if I recall correctly in the schedules, Paris has an easier schedule in the stage than Boston does. So, you know, you start putting together momentum, and at the end of the year, you just have to get a ticket to the dance. And who knows, if you're hot at the right time, you win it all.
Ooh, nope, not quite there. Doesn't work. Standard opening gambit there from Boston Uprising. With that hook, they're hoping to pull somebody who was a little bit greedy out of position into their demise. But Paris playing it safe. They will be dropping down to the low ground, and this is going to be as standard as standard could be, Hex. Pure vanilla ice cream.
Well, Paris is backing up a lot. We've seen a lot of teams hold right here because you have the option of going left or right in the corridors to dodge damage, and there's a mega pack down there as well for some extra healing. But Paris just decides to give up a ton of ground. Will hold all the way back.
Yeah, this is getting interesting now. I mean, Boston now just taking full roof control, trying to drop over the top. RCK just going to go ahead and set himself up on the payload. So he continues to make progress. His teammates are going to be there to watch his back if he needs help.
Rotation through the server room now. Boston tries to set up here. And I think this is the corner that they want to try to take the fight from, maybe to take the initiation from.
Get that high ground, not going to happen. Finzi, he will not budge. He will not give ground. But Aim God finding the headshot on Greyy to kick things off with the fight. That's big. Man advantage now, and they pounce. Boston Uprising not wasting an opportunity like that. They will get the job done.
It's an enormous open. Ben Best does get taken down next, and that is just about it. In a very anticlimactic Gibraltar first.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing was happening until, that happens again there. Aim God finds
the second kill. There's been 4 eliminations thus far. Aim God has 2 of them, and he's got Transcendence ready. You can see his counterpart has spent some time in spawn thanks to Aim God, so he's only got 73%. Boston continues to pile on here. I would like to see them take high ground here, because they've got a very good fight. And this map can be brutal if the defenders are able to hold once, because then all the advantages there. Greyy with a little bit of revenge onto his counterpart.
There we go. That's the ticket. Now, can Paris play to this? Boston do not want to be backing off too much. It's not a long run back into the fight for Aim God. Fusions, though, he gets booped out. Cruz with the clutch play once again. Knocks him out of position, and he gets pounced on immediately. That's going to slow things down here for the offense.
If you were considering playing main tank in Overwatch at all, you better have the patience of a saint, because there are so many times where you just can't control what's happening to you. You're getting hit this way, you're getting hit that way. I'm just trying to hold my shield, and sometimes there's nothing you can do. Just get thrown into the meat grinder.
You see him again there. Cruz, once again, there you go. Knocks Alamao down to the low ground. That's what he's hoping to do the entire time, just knock people out of position. High value there for Paris Eternal, who are about to get a 6-pack in terms of ultimates, but so are Boston Uprising. This is going to be the real wombo combo. Massive battle as Color Hex gets knocked down onto the payload. Are they going to be able to find the follow-up? Are they going to get their grabs eaten? That's the main question here. Both RCK and Finzi have been successful eliminating ults from play.
It's all about execution. You'd imagine both rallies come out when these teams want to fight, but Boston happy to just take this free push.
Well, there we go. Grab is in. Aim God there with the trance. Color Hex nearly goes down, but it looks like he will survive. Ben Best looking for the shatter. It's just shatters left and right now as they are going into it. Whole hog. No holding back now. Boston. Clever positioning there from Color Hex. Will he be able to get any value? No, it's Finzi who will find the double in the end. Color Hex and Blase out of the fight. And Paris Eternal on the defense stabilizing.
The 11th ultimate used in that fight finally picks up 2 kills as both teams hit the same order of operations every single time. Shatter to shatter, grab to grab, self-destruct, self-destruct. In the end, it is Finzi who finds the position after everything else was used. 11 of 12 ultimates were used that fight. I think it was the 10th one. Sorry, I miscounted that ended up finding Fader.
It's unreal.
Blase still has an ult, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Blase,
he's just like, haha, I did this all along. Now they get the rally, and Boston can look to use that to get the initiate here on Paris. They have to find a way in here. They're down to 2 minutes on the clock now, Boston Uprising. Starting to get a little low. RCK's got to be careful. Does not want to get demeched up here for free.
Yeah, he's seeking Cruz just hanging out on the wall, waiting for them to come in, but they're going to speed boost in.
There's Danya. This has gone on long enough where we get the grabs online once again. And that means Blase is going to get picked immediately. Rally, useless. Gets nothing done. There's the shatter, though. An attempt, and that's going to put RCK out. Alamao as well. Alamao barely survives it. And Boston actually getting a little bit of progress here. They're right on the doorstep of the second point.
There's a lot of shatters that look good, but actually aren't that great because your team is not in position to follow up on them. 4 people can be knocked down, but they're sitting behind a shield and they have support with them. It's not that grand. So yeah, 4-man shatter, all good, but the rest of your team's not in position to get kills. And, you know, just knocking someone to the ground, yeah, it hurts their feelings, but it doesn't send them to spawn.
You get all scuffed up. I just washed these.
Got grass stains now.
No, Color. Let's see. Don't want to overextend, obviously, but he'll get topped back up again. That's going to help Blase work his way up to the rally. And so, Paris Eternal now on the defense. Early hold, but again, this isn't ideal for Boston unless they can get this super clean. I mean, they have ults, but they're down to 2.5 minutes on the clock. So
Paris just hasn't pressured the card enough for my liking this game. They're giving so much free push. They're just backpedaling constantly.
It's almost the map architecture that played out on second point that benefited them. Here, everybody's on the same level. It's looking dicey. Boston pulling ahead in the ults game. Now they've got 5 of them online here, Boston. See, are they going to get a different result this time, or are they going to give Paris Eternal the time to farm up their ults? Now the ults go in, but AimGod already finds the kill on Greyy to kick things off. Cruz is out as well. There's the follow-up shatter. Bedbest laid down, and this is going to be the Boston Uprising picking up 3 points on Gibraltar. It's only a matter of time now. They are quick enough to get this done. Oh, well, Grey's going to go for the trance. He is invulnerable while he glows like that, but eventually it has to wear off, and eventually they have to get rid of this guy, but with the Lantern there, the stall tactics used here by Paris Eternal, unreal. They're buying so much time.
They're buying a lot of time, and the stall is nice. If you want to pull this back, you have to get kills, though, and it does seem like an unlikely prospect. Tracer now out buying even more precious seconds.
They must have stalled for 30 seconds there. That's unreal.
Close, yeah.
So yeah.
Nice tactics in the end. Boston will complete Gibraltar. Watchpoint Gibraltar being its full name. Yeah, Paris played passive to me there. Like, I think you can see it most on last point, right? Like, because they got kind of cleaned up as Boston took second.
Yeah.
And on last point, there's not a lot of great places to hold. But there is that corner. You always hold that corner up top, at the top of the hill to the left.
Yeah.
Giant corner there. Usually you set up your Rhine there. And they had people around there, and then they just kept backing up and backing up and backing up. And then they're fighting in an open area. I don't know. I just didn't seem like the kind of aggressive play that is usually rewarded in a 3-3 composition. You don't even necessarily have to be aggressive. Just take your spot in the neutral. No one's pressuring you. Just take your position, and they just kept giving it up.
Yeah, it's when you see that pressure in there, right? Nobody's pressuring you. It's in the spirit. It's in the head, Hex. They're already losing in the fight, in their minds. It's not until they're forced to take the fight that they can find out differently. And so we'll see. Paris... Last time they were on offense, they did pretty well. So, not going to throw it in just yet for them. Boston Uprising are the ones who are going to be on the defense. Paris Eternal on the offense. And now, well, we'll see what our Paris capable of here on Jib. If Boston give ground the same way, it's going to get dicey.
Yeah. So you can see this is the most recent iteration of the Paris roster. They are 5-2 in their last 7 maps, so it seems like this is the roster they're going to try to run going forward. We actually look back at a lot of the different iterations, and they've run a lot of different people on this team trying to get the pieces in place to find what is the winning strategy here. Boston defensively is running a Winston and Diva. It did not work out well for them on Paris. I think it's better suited to this map if you're going to try to hold high grounds here, because Winston gives you that mobility.
You can drop down, and then, exactly, jump his way back out.
But it's just a tiny little bit of a timing there. I mean, he still had the bubble, so he wasn't going to get bashed, but he's gun shy now.
Yeah.
He got bashed to eternity on Paris.
He got wrecked on Paris. Definitely did not work out for him. Here, though, he's doing a good job. Yep, playing it very carefully. You see that jump is on a very short cooldown. You can use it a lot, but he's playing this safe. He's hoping that Paris are going to be the ones to overextend. And if he can get that primal up, it's going to get interesting here for Paris, because he can start knocking them out of position if he gets angry. You wouldn't like him much when he's angry, Hex. That one's oldest in. I'll work on it. All right, let's get in there, because now he's going to get the bubble infusions. Yep, going to go primal. Now he's going to start punching people in the face. Going to try and knock them out of position. Greyy goes down at the hands of RCK, but Ben Best fights back. RCK's out of it. Now we get the sound barrier thrown in here by Cruz. Boston Uprising, what's the call? AimGod decides to use the trance, hoping to keep him up. And it looks like it could pay off for Boston.
It is going to. The shields do not protect you against lightning. Fusions does clean up a couple there. Very nice play. Although he just does not look as comfortable, and I think even ColorX is not as comfortable with him on Winston, because you want to be playing it to the brink, and he's getting bubbled so he doesn't get bashed, but then he's leaving right away with the bubble on him. You can stay for like another second, half a second. It's about getting maximum value out of your resources.
Name of the game. We're down to 2 minutes. I feel like I've said that a lot this map, but it is the case. Paris. Wow, okay, here we go. Just remove him. Fusions, get rid of the guy. Solo grab, man advantage here for Paris. Looking to give themselves, the first point of the map. That's a great call there from Danye. Just get the value out. Whatever, you got the first point. It's over. 4.5 minutes now on the clock for Paris.
It's not about how many you grab, it's about who you grab. And we saw this in a lot of early iterations of Overwatch. Like, I'll solo grab a Mercy. Just got 2 resurrections. I'm going to solo grab this Mercy every day. It's a very nice play there, nice target calling, and it doesn't matter if you use one ult and get one person. If you win the fight, you win the fight off that ult. So very good economy still for Paris as they continue to push. They're taking the high ground. It's a battle of the shuttle right now.
In the closed quarters. Boston going to get control of it by the looks of it, though. Benbest down onto the payload. They are going to go ahead and now face off against each other. And there's the grab in. Benbest with the shield. Let's see. Self-destruct down. RCK gifts one as well. But it's going to be Finzi finding the kill on Blase. And there it is. ColorX caught out in the open, gets stunned, and they are managing to just pull this through. Paris Eternal rolling right through the defense.
This one should be rolling all the way to the checkpoint here. And they're just going to come out, hopefully find people who got split spawns. Gibraltar is the Venus flytrap of maps. You end up in the wrong spot, and the map itself will kill you. The environment itself will kill you.
Whoa, buddy. They actually threw the grab in. That forced the trance as well from AimGod. This is a fight right out the get-go, and Alamau is going to get caught out in the open. No good there. That's going to leave Fusions exposed. Fusions did go for the Rhine switch. He's dropped low, but it looks like they will be able to sneak their way out of here, Boston. They'll lose Blase.
You know how dangerous exposed Fusions are.
Oh, man.
Watching some...
Where's the sand? Where's the sand? Paris, they got a lot of sand right now.
Just rolling through this one. 4 minutes in their bank. Again, Boston did complete it with a $1.25 left on their time bank. So Paris setting a great pace right now. Not much to use on either side here. But the race to the big ones is getting closer and closer for Paris.
There we go. Self-destruct right at the door. Nearly gets it perfectly. That was sick placement. But it's going to give some room here for Paris. Some free push. 2 kills already in. A shatter thrown in as well. And they're going to quickly get rid of Blase. ColorX has to go for the Tracer play here. Just trying to stall out. And let's see. Are Boston capable of stalling as well as Paris? Not going to happen. Paris, so quick. Looking great on offense. They tie it up 3-3.
You talk about stalls, and that was the big difference. They locked the door with their Graviton, and Boston did not use their. We will do it all again on Gibraltar right after this.
Right back into the action we go. Boston Uprising, because they had less time in the bank. They're on offense first for this second round, the second go of pushing the payload.
And that stall that Paris pulled off on their first defense might be the winning gambit here, as Paris is up 2-1 in the series, looking to close out this set. And they've got a lot more time to do it, which means they will start on the defense. 330-ish in their bank. 125 for Boston to make as much progress on the second round of Gibraltar here as possible.
Well, very right off. Let's see. No shenanigans this time with the hook combo. Both teams know that they're not really going to catch anything. They've seen what the setup is like, and so Boston just going to get on that payload and get it moving as quickly as possible down into the trough here. And it's a question of where Paris choose to fight this time, because again, we didn't see them take any aggressive positioning the first time around. This time it looked like they were willing to challenge a little bit earlier, though, Hex.
Yeah, and they should be, but it's also a question of, do we want to take one bad fight underneath the overpass, or do we want to just win one fight? Because really, with the time bank that Boston has, Paris's defense really needs to win one fight, and that's where the payload will stop. So right now, no one's even on the payload from either squad. And it just seems like it's the same server room kind of offense for Boston. 30 seconds remain on their clock. You know, with a 125, you might not even get ultimate abilities up. It's close with some of them. They average around 1 to 140.
Yeah, in terms of... Well, I mean, if you're able to just get the damage, you guys start swinging at each other, it could speed things up here. Both of these teams kind of hoping for it. They're climbing their way up, but Boston are the ones who are taking quite a bit of hurt here. RCK has to be careful. He's at risk of getting demeched.
Greyy and AimGod both have Transcendence up. I wonder if they use it aggressively. Oh, ColorX goes down! Brutality!
Oh, once again, Danye with the plays. RCK on the thread. He's hanging in there. Gets the demect. Trance is forced here from AimGod, and that is going to be the shatter attempt thrown in here by Benbest as well. They're just swinging for the fences at this point. Blase going to get overwhelmed, and it is going to be the single fight here for Paris Eternal. This is where the payload will halt, and this is as far as Paris have to go when they change sides, and Paris will be on the offense.
You know, this Paris team, I mentioned it, that there's good players on this team. It's just a matter of kind of finding their style, finding their pacing, taking fights, and limiting mistakes, I think. And, you know, coming into this match, I didn't really rate Danye that well, but his last couple of maps have been extraordinary. He's finding people out of position, and then he's getting into ult quicker. It's been very nice play from him overall. And now a very winnable series for the Paris Eternal. They win this map, they win the series. They have 3.5 minutes to probably just win a fight.
Yeah, exactly. They can go for the exact same strategy as Boston Uprising, except that they can do it twice. Boston, they had 1.5 minutes, a little bit, you know. Paris Eternal, a little bit more room for error going into it. So let's see how they decide to set things up. It's looking like similar strategies again.
I mean, you can't overrate that first kill, though. It's taking out the other Zarya. Zarya is so important. Like, the most important hero in 3-3 compositions.
Essentially.
And so with ColorX out, not only is that no bubbles and no utility, no damage, it's no possibility for a Graviton Surge. Sitting in spawn.
Yeah. You get rid of it. I mean, it's just so much. What is it? 95% of the time you just lose the fight if you lose your Zarya first?
Yeah, the losing Zarya first.
That was a while ago, though. I mean, stats may have changed.
It's still pretty high. Losing Zarya first is a very, very low win rate scenario.
Surprise, Nico! There you go. You go around the corner straight into a whole bunch of blue. Boston Uprising, they set the trap. I mean, I love this. This is great. They're burning time off that clock.
You have to do it. Make them win 2 fights. By holding here, Paris has to beat you once, and then push the card a lot, and then beat you again. They have to win 2. This is a perfect positioning play from Boston.
Fusions, though, is he going to go down? He's getting good support here from his team, but the focus fire is so good, and he's got no shield to hide behind now. Paris Eternal going to try and pounce. They will take full advantage. Blase goes down, and we lose the mech for RCK as well. That's not going to help things here for Boston on the defense.
Blase trying to take position there to save Fusions, who had gotten very low. Speaking of position, I would like to see Paris stay right around this corner, play a little bit aggressively. There are other people will push the cart, no worries. Ben Best a fire strike away from getting to his ultimate. That'll probably passively charge as well. So we got a Shatter coming up and a whole lot of support ultimates coming out. Because they won that fight handily, did Paris, they're in a good spot economically, but it's going to be a very small window with advantage.
Exactly. Boston, if given the time, they will catch up very soon, but Paris, they are just getting as much push as possible. No horsing around yet in the data center, and we've got the grab on high. Blase taking a fire strike to the face, going to survive it. Now it's ColorX's turn with the grab onto Paris. Greyy is there with the transfusions. Got to be careful. He nearly goes down. That was so close.
Enormous Shatter, but they're in the Transcendence.
They're going to survive it for now. Cruz is going to use the sound barrier here to try and keep his team healthy. Who's going to crack first? RCK with the self-destruct. No targets found. And they're still in this fight, Paris, especially because now we have the rally going here for Nico. It's still topping everybody up with armor. Finzi getting demeched is not going to help things, though.
No, it's not. And for Paris, you have to decide if you're going to come in and fight with a Pilot Diva or if you're going to wait and try to reset. They still have plenty of time, but now we're at 90 seconds here. I think you have to wait and fight here because you don't want to give up the position you're in already.
Round 2. Danye's got a great lead on the grab. Maybe that's what makes the play here. We could see it happen. They're still a ways off on the support ultimates for Boston Uprising. So Danye nearly got the grab. There it is. Pulls the trigger. No hesitation. Can they get the follow-up? ColorX is out. Boston Uprising. They were looking good, but they're dropping players now, and it is Paris Eternal plowing forward. They will pick up the win. 3-1 victory for Paris over the Boston Uprising.
Tanya is going to get your highlight Graviton Surge there, but all credit to Finzi, who had chased RCK away down to the major pack, so the Diva out of the mix. Both Divas out of it is going to be advantage with Zarya for Graviton Surge. Throws it in there, and Paris, after looking so bad out of control, so bad.
Definitely looked like it was going to be a Boston day.
Yeah, come back and put 3 on the board in pretty impressive fashion. A lot of players had some of their better games today.
Oh, man. Fusions always shows a lot of emotion. Not quite pulling it through here for Boston today. A lot of work left to be done. The 2 teammates, yeah, looking out for each other. But Boston, still early days. Still plenty of opportunity. Yep. Glad to see that Paris, though, are starting to find their footing.
This is going to be a series to watch because, they play each other again later. Right now, both teams have the identical record. It's just map differential holding them apart. Boston started at 12. Paris started at 14. Now, I don't want to attempt math, but they're somewhere in there now together.
Rule number 1.
Yeah. But if you're Paris and you're sitting at 14, the most important games are the teams ahead of you. But right now, what's most important is that we've got Mika on the floor with Cruz.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Cruz. Everybody get up for Cruz and Paris Eternal. They played great today. So, earlier in the day, Fusions tweeted that this was a battle for the EU and he's going up against friends, and you did come out on top of the EU. But what's it like to go up there? I know you and Fusions are buddies, playing against your friend and your former teammate from the World Cup.
Yeah, it makes it fun. Like, it adds more to the game, you know, because you really want to beat them, or like later on when you're meeting up with them, they'll give you, lack of a better word, they'll wind you up about it. I was going to swear, but I know I can't. I always do that.
This is why you're my favorite. I like interviewing you. And next week, you're going to go up against New York Excelsior on Friday. Earlier today, we saw that they were pretty dominant against London Spitfire. So, are you nervous?
Not nervous. I've always believed we can win every game. You can't be a player and not believe you're going to win. You can't go into a game thinking you're going to lose, or you're going to lose every time. Like, we've been sorting out a lot of our mistakes, fixing our lineup out, and I feel really confident right now.
That's good. I'm glad you guys have confidence. Well, good luck to you and good luck to the rest of Paris Eternal. And we are excited to see what you will bring next Friday, which should be a very fun game. But that's all we have for now. Down here, back to you, Semler and Hex.
Thank you, Mika, and thank you, Cruz. What a brilliant mentality. That is the competitor's mentality. Reminds me of some of the greats in the past. Senna, actually, just watched the documentary the other day. Definitely go and watch it. So good. All right, so, Hex, let's get into it. Player of the match.
Well, it should be no surprise of those who watched our player of the match presented by Omen by HP. It is Danye, who was the best of the Zaryas today. This is a brilliant 4K that he pulled off, but I think his Zarya play was really the thing that kept this team in it alive. Didn't really screw up a whole lot of Gravitons, which, you know, if you're not making mistakes, then you're doing something right. 3-3, it's a lot about limiting your mistakes. Was able to lock the door twice on their last two maps. Locks the door here, doesn't let them touch the cart. Locked the door in Gibraltar, which led them to a bigger time bank. Was able to focus down his opposing Zarya in some key kills late. He was clutch, and clutch is everything in life.
Exactly, especially when you're looking for wins. Gotta say, 56% on average energy as well. That's what's bringing the pain. Glad to see that Danya is starting to hit his stride. The rest of the team as well. I'm not shocked when I hear what Cruz has to say in that interview. That's the winner's mentality. Take note. We'll be back after this with our next match of the day.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.